people appreciate.
Okay. Yes, there are times. Great. Okay, Ken, can you come on? So we're going to start. Ken, are you there?
He was having trouble with his internet last time. And power and various things, because he's got a new flat now, new apartment.
Okay, Tony, in case something happens to Ken, would you be
over
ready
from
to
that.
jump
Well,
in? Okay, great.
okay, sure.
Okay, we're just waiting. Ken, are you there?
I'm here. I was
Okay.
in the other room.
Great.
I'm with you now.
Okay, there he is. All right, great.
Yay!
We're ready. Okay, so Mary, you tell us. We're gonna start then. So tell us when we're rolling.
All right. Right now you are recording, and YouTube is going to happen. I'm waiting for it.
I see a note that it says recording live on YouTube.
Yeah,
Good.
I see you too.
Yeah.
Good. There it is. Yeah. It just takes a while, but you should be good.
Okay, good. Hello, we are Instant Shakespeare, also Instant Moliere, and we today are going to be reading The Miser by Moliere, first performed in 1668 at the Palais Royal in Paris. And we are using the Gutenberg translation, which is in the public domain with revisions by Angus Hepburn. So we're going to first introduce ourselves, and then we'll go right into our script. So Angus, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Angus Hepburn reading Harpagon, The Miser's MM.
And Amelia.
Hi, I'm Amelia Bell, and I'm reading Marianne.
Derek.
Hey, I'm Derek Tarson. I'm reading Brindavoine and Anselm.
Charles Kennedy IV.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm reading Cleant.
Hannah Housley.
Hey, I'm Hannah Housdy, and I'm reading for Elise.
Paul Carazzone.
I am Paul Carazone. I'm reading for Valère.
Tony Scheiman.
I'm Tony Scheiman. I'm reading the parts of La Flèche and Maître Jacques.
Kenneth Wayne.
Kenneth Wayne. I'm doing Master Simon and Magistrate.
And I'm Simone Coonrod, and I am reading Faucine and La Mer. All right, so our scene is in Paris. Whoops, I need to get my my script already. It was ready. We're in Paris at the apartment of Harpagon.
What? Dearest Elise, what's wrong? Are you sad now that you have finally admitted your love for me? Why do you sigh in the midst of my joy? You surely mustn't regret having made me happy. Do you repent our engagement?
No, Valère, I do not regret what I do for you. I just feel that it's all getting out of control. To be honest, I'm very worried about the consequences, and I greatly fear that I love you more than I should.
What can you possibly fear from love?
Everything. The anger of my father, the reproaches of my family, the censure of the world, and above all, Valère, that your heart might change. I fear that cruel coldness with which men so often repay a woman's innocent love.
Oh, alas, you wrong me. Don't judge me by the actions of others. I am capable of everything, Elise, except falling short of what I owe you. My love will last as long as my life.
Oh, Valère, you men are all alike in the way they profess their love, but their actions show the differences between them.
Then why not wait for actions, if that's the only way you can judge of the truthfulness of my heart? Give me time to show you in 1,000 ways that my love is true.
You can count on that. Alas, how easily we allow ourselves to be persuaded by those we love. I believe you, Valère. I feel sure that your heart is utterly incapable of deceiving me, that your love is sincere, and that you will ever remain faithful to me. I will never doubt you, Valère, but what will the world say?
But why even this fear?
Oh, Valère, if everyone knew you as I do, I should have little to fear. But how can I forget that horrible moment when we met for the first time? Your courage in risking your own life to save mine from the fury of the waves, your tender care afterwards, your ardent love. For me, you neglect your parents. You give up your own position in life to be a servant to my father. How can I resist? It is more than enough to justify my engagement to you in my eyes. But who knows if it will be enough to justify it in the eyes of others?
You keep trying to justify your love because of what I have done. No, only love me for who I am, and because my love for you justifies you returning that love. As for the scruples you feel, your father himself claims an exalted position for you in the world, but his avarice and the way he ignores you and your brother hardly justifies any belief that he truly loves you. Forgive me, my dear Elise, for speaking thus of your father before you, but you know that, unfortunately, there's very little good that can be said of him. However, if I can find my parents, as I fully hope I shall, they will soon be favorable to us. I am daily expecting news of them, but if none comes, I will go in search of them myself.
Oh no, Valère, do not leave me. I entreat you, instead, please try to ingratiate yourself in my father's favor.
You know how much I want to, and believe me, I'm trying. You know the skillful maneuvers I've used in order to introduce myself into his service, and how I disguise my own feelings to please him, and the part I played to gain his affection. Oh yes, I succeed wonderfully well. The best way to obtain favor with men is to pretend to agree with them in everything they do and say, to pretend to be of their way of thinking, to fall in with their maxims, to praise their defects, and to applaud all their doings. It's virtually impossible, for no matter how grossly you flattery, the most cunning are easily duped. There is nothing so ridiculous that they can't believe, provided it is well sprinkled with praise. Honesty suffers, I agree, but we get what we want when he gets what he wants. And it's not after all the fault of those who flatter, but the fault of those who wish to be flattered.
But why don't you try to gain my brother's goodwill too?
I am afraid I cannot deal with them both. The temperament of the father is so different from that of the son, it would be too difficult to be the confidant of both of them at the same time. Rather, try your brother yourself. Make use of the love that exists between you to enlist him in our cause. But I'll leave you, for I see him. Speak to him, sound him, and see how far we can trust him.
I greatly fear I shall never have the courage to speak to him of our secret. Valère? Valère?
Scene 2.
I'm glad to find you alone, sister. I've been wanting to speak to you. I have a secret that I need to tell you.
Continue, brother. What's your secret?
In one word, sister. Love. I'm in love.
You? Love?
Yes, I love. But before I say more, let me tell you that I know I depend on my father, and that as his son, I am the subject of his will. So, of course, we can't get engaged without his consent and approval. He is the master of our affections, and it is our duty not to indulge our own desires, but only in accordance with his wishes. Supposedly, his judgment is not biased by his being in love himself, and so he is much less likely to be deceived by appearances. As he never tires of telling us, he is the best judge of what is good for us, and we ought to trust his experience rather than the passion which blinds us. For after all, as he says, the rashness of youth often carries us to the very brink of dangerous abysses. How could I forget it? He says it so often enough, and you don't need to remind me, but my love will not let me listen to anything, so you can spare me your remonstrances. They are futile.
Are you engaged, brother?
No, but I am determined to be so please do not dredge up any reason to dissuade me from it.
Do you know me at all, brother?
My dear sister, you do not love. You do not know the power that love exerts on us. And frankly, I dread your words of wisdom.
Alas, my brother, don't mention my wisdom. There are very few people in this world who do not lack wisdom, or only once in their lifetime. And if I opened my heart to you, perhaps you would think me less wise than you are yourself.
Ah, sister, if only your heart like mine.
Let us speak of you first. Now tell me who it is that you love.
A young girl who has lately come to live in our neighborhood, and who seems made to inspire love in all those who behold her. Nature, my dear sister, has made nothing more lovely. And I felt like another man the moment I saw her. Her name is Marianne, and she lives with a good, kind mother, who, fortunately, is almost always ill.
The aunt?
Oh, but the dear girl shows the greatest affection for her. She waits upon her, pities and comforts her with the tenderness that would touch you to your very soul. Whatever she undertakes is done in her most charming way, and all her actions shine with a wonderful grace, a most winning gentleness, an adorable modesty. My sister, how I wish you had but seen her.
I see many things in what you tell me, dear brother, and frankly, it's rather more than I wanted to know.
I managed to find out that they are incredibly poor. Although they live as frugally as they can, they have barely enough to cover their expenses. Can you imagine, my sister, what happiness it would be to improve their condition, to give some relief to the modest wants of a virtuous family? And yet I am deprived of this great joy, unable to do so through avarice of our father. It is impossible for me to give any proof of my love to the woman who means everything to me.
Yes, I feel your pain, dear brother.
It is much greater, my sister, than you can comprehend. Is there anything more cruel than this poverty in which we are forced to live? What good does it do us to have a fortune if it will only come to us when we are too old to enjoy it? And of course, now I get into debt on every side simply to cover my meager living expenses. We are both reduced to beg in order to have decent clothes to wear. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you, to ask you to help me sound out my father about my present feelings. I tell you, if he refuses me, I am determined to make the best of a bad job and go and live elsewhere with Marianne. I am trying everywhere to raise money to get out of here. And if your circumstances, dear sister, are like mine, and our father opposes us, well, let's both leave him and escape from the crippling tyranny in which his hateful avarice has imprisoned us.
Oh, I know, brother. Every day he gives us more and more reason to mourn the death of our mother. Hey!
I hear your voice.
Our dog.
Let us go a little further and finish our talk. Then we can work out together to see if we can break down his cruelty.
Yes, Cleon, let's go inside and devise a plan to win over his unkind heart.
Scene 3.
Get out of here this minute. I've had enough of your prattling. Get out of my house, you vulture.
I'm the vulture. I never saw anything more selfish and wicked than this cursed old man. I truly believe he's possessed by the devil.
What are you muttering about?
Why do you send me away?
None of your business. Get out or I'll take my stick to your backside.
What have I done to you?
Oh, just the sight of you is enough.
My master, your son, gave me orders to wait for him.
Well, wait for him in the street then. Go on off with you. I've seen you skulking about, spying on everything, trying to line your pockets. I won't have a weasel like you watching everything I do, coveting all my possessions, ferreting about in every corner to see if there's anything to steal.
Oh, in the dear Lord's name, could anyone steal from you? Is it likely you will be robbed when you put everything possible under lock and key and chained and padlocked?
I'll lock up whatever I please. And how do you know so much about my business? Oh, what if he's found out about my money? Have you been spreading stories that I have money hidden in my house?
You have money hidden in your house?
I never said that. Oh, damn the scoundrel.
Oh, what does the matter whether or not you have money? I don't care. It's all the same to me.
Argumentative little pest, aren't you? So, you like to play with words, do you? Keep that up and I'll play a few words round your ears. Now, for the last time, get out of my sight.
Very well, very well. I'm going.
Hey, no, wait. What have you got there?
Where?
There.
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 What could I possibly have?
Come here. Let me see. Come on, show me your hands.
There they are.
And the others.
The others?
Yes.
There they are.
And what have you got hidden in your breeches?
Look for yourself.
Oh, look at these great baggy things. Pockets everywhere. Perfect for hiding stolen goods. I ought to take a set of shears to them. And anything else in my way.
Oh, what joy it would be for me to steal them from a man like this.
Huh?
Huh?
What did you say you'd steal?
I say you can feel about everywhere to see if I've been stealing anything.
All right, well, we'll see about that.
Plague take all misers.
Hey, what'd you say?
What did I say?
Yes, what did you say about misers?
I say the plague take all misers.
Who are you talking about?
Well, misers.
And who are they, these misers?
Villains and stingy wretches.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Why do you trouble yourself so much about what I say?
I'll trouble myself if I want to.
Did you think I was speaking of you?
And when you talk about me and my affairs, who are you talking to?
To whom? Well, I'm talking to my hat.
Well, in that case, I'll have a word with the back of your head.
Would you prevent me from cursing misers?
Enough. I'll put a stop to your prattling. Hold your tongue or I'll tie a knot in it.
I didn't mean you.
Another word and I will thrash you.
As the poet says, if the shoe fits.
Will you be silent?
Absolutely. If it's your desire, I will.
Silence!
Certainly. I'll be happy to comply with all your...
Silence, you scoundrel!
Just look. Here's one more pocket. Are you satisfied?
Well, come, give it to me.
Give you what?
What it is you've stolen.
I have stolen nothing from you.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, the absolute truth.
You wouldn't know the truth if it fell from the sky and bit you in the... Oh, you're beyond the redemption. Go to the devil.
That's a nice way of dismissing a fellow.
Scene 4.
Can you believe that slimy weasel? Thank the Lord he's gone at last. Or is he? He's not still there, is he? Spying on me? Oh, thank goodness. I can't stand him. He's so short. Oh, the worry having to keep 10,000 crowns in the house. It'd be much easier to have it invested, watching it grow and flower and blossom, multiplying a little bit here, a little bit there. I could just sit and watch it happening forever. Yeah, but instead, it's here. Yeah, it's right here in this house. And you've no idea how hard it is to find a good hiding place. Well, I tried keeping it under my bed, but then they all wanted to know why I'd locked myself in the bedroom and wouldn't come out. They were going to call a doctor, and you know how much they charge for house calls? Scandalous. And then, to crown it all, last night I had to get up in the middle of the night for a, well, you know, and mistook my cash box for the chamber pot. Oh, you done that as well? Oh, I just thank God it was gold and not a bundle of banknotes. Anyway, this morning, first thing I went out and I buried it in the garden. Oh, although I'm not so sure that was such a bright idea. There's now a big mound in the middle of the grass. Might be a bit obvious. Wait. There's somebody there. Who is it? Who's there? What do you want?
Nothing, Father.
Oh, you. I might have known. How long have you been skulking there?
Oh, we've only just come.
You were eavesdropping.
What? Father?
Spying.
What?
Listening to things that were nothing to do with you.
No.
You were. I know you were.
I beg your pardon, Father, but we weren't.
Oh, yes, you were. But no matter. I was only saying how worrying it would be to have to keep 10,000 crowns about the house, if one had 10,000 crowns, and a house.
We were afraid of coming near you for fear of intruding.
Well, I wouldn't want you to get the silly idea that it was I who had 10,000 crowns.
We do not wish to interfere in your affairs.
I only wish I had 10,000 crowns.
Well, I shouldn't think that.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
There are things.
Yeah, I certainly need them.
I fancy
What
that
couldn't I do with them?
you
I
are-
wouldn't have to complain about any more about how poor I am.
Great God Almighty, Father, you have no reason to complain. Everyone knows that you're filthy rich.
What? Me? Rich? Filthy? Oh, lies, slander. Nothing could be further from the truth. They're scoundrels who say that.
Don't be angry.
How could you? You betray me. Have you too become mine enemies?
How could you say that? You're well off. You're well off. Make me your enemy.
I'll tell you how. Tales like that get around and people get interested and want to know more. It's not helped by your extravagant spending. That'll be the death of me. I tell you, someone will break in here one night, cut my throat because, thanks to you two, he thinks the house is bulging with gold.
Father, what extravagant spending do I indulge in?
Look at you. Is there anything more ridiculous than that fancy frippery you prance around in? It was bad enough yesterday with your sister whining for a new dress, but you're even worse. I could retire on what you've spent on all that tat. tarting yourself up like the nobility. And where'd you get the money from it? I just know you've been robbing me blind.
Rob you? Please tell me. I'd love to know.
Well, it wouldn't be so hard. I mean, all you've got to do is, oh, you cunning devil, that you catch me out, eh?
Father, I gamble, and as I am very lucky, I spend all the money I win on clothes. All I have left is to look well dressed.
I might have known. You spendthrift. If you're so lucky, take your winnings and invest them. Watch them grow. A little here, a little there. Oh, it's wonderful to behold. 2 goes on that, another 7 there. Oh, and that one's got a better rate. Divest! That's the way to do it. Gold, make more gold.
You are quite right.
Change the subject. Oh, what are they twitching about? Are they plotting to rob me? Whatever schemes you're hatching, stop it right now.
No, we are hesitating as to who shall speak first, for we both have something to tell you.
Oh, and I have something to tell you.
We wanted to speak to you about marriage, Father.
Oh, the very thing I wanted to speak to you about.
Sweet heaven, no. Dear merciful God, no.
No, not in my ear. Damn it, be quiet. What's wrong? Is it the word that frightens you or the thing itself?
No, Father, please no.
Will you shut up or I'll lock you in the cellar?
Marriage may frighten us both, depending on the way you intend it, since our feelings may not quite coincide with your choice.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have nothing but your best interests at heart. It's all for your own good. You'll see. Now listen. Do you know a young woman by the name of Marianne? She lives not far from here.
Yes, Father.
And you?
I've heard her spoken of.
Well, my son, what do you think of her?
She's very charming.
Her face?
Modest and intelligent.
Her air and manner.
Perfect, undoubtedly.
So, she should be well thought of?
Yes, Father.
And would be a very desirable match?
Very desirable.
And a thrifty and careful wife?
Certainly.
And her husband would enjoy her company?
Oh, I have not the least doubt about it.
Yeah, that's one little difficulty. I'm afraid she doesn't have the fortune one might reasonably expect.
Oh, my father, riches are of little importance when one is sure of marrying a virtuous woman.
What a novel idea. God knows whose son you are, certainly not mine.
And that would make a lot of sense.
Well, I must say I'm pleased to find that we're in agreement, for her modest manner and her gentleness have won my heart, and I've made up my mind to marry her. What?
You are resolved, you say?
To marry Marianne.
Who? You?
Yes, me.
You?
Me? What's wrong?
I feel a sudden dizziness. I must withdraw for a little while.
What?
I just need to lie down.
Oh, you'll get over it. A drink of water will settle your queasy stomach. You'll be right as rain in moments.
Scene 6.
God, look at him. It gives new meaning to the word fop. No more stamina than a chicken. Anyway, daughter, that is what I have resolved for myself. As for your brother, I found him a solid widow. Her husband left her very nicely supported. She can finance fancy pants from now on. And you I shall give to Mr. Anselm.
Mr. Anselm?
Oh, yes, quiet, wise and prudent man.
Father.
Looks in his 40s.
Father?
Well, 50s in the right light.
Father!
Oh, whatever. He's rich.
I have no wish to marry, Father, if you please.
And I, my little girl, my darling, I wish you to marry, if you please.
I beg your pardon, my father.
I beg your pardon, my daughter.
I am the very humble servant of Mr. Anselm, but by your leave, I shall not marry him.
I am your very humble servant, but you will marry him, and this very evening.
This evening?
This evening.
It cannot be done, father.
It will be done, daughter.
No!
Yes.
No, I tell you.
Yes, I tell you.
Never force me to do such a thing.
I will force you to it at gunpoint if necessary, even if I have to buy, borrow one.
I had rather kill myself than marry such a man.
You will not kill yourself. You will marry him. Oh, did you ever see such impudence? Did ever anyone hear a daughter speak so to her father?
But did ever anyone see a father marry his daughter after such a fashion?
All the time. Who could find fault with such a match? Everybody will approve of my choice.
And I know that nobody, no reasonable person will approve of your choice.
Oh, look, here is Valère coming. Shall we make him the judge of this affair?
Willingly.
You will abide by what he says?
Yes, whatever he thinks right, I will do.
Agreed.
Scene 7.
Valère, we have chosen you to decide who is in the right, my daughter or I.
It is certainly you, sir.
Molière?
But you've no idea what we're talking about.
No, but you could not be in the wrong. You are reason itself.
Tonight I want to give her a husband who is as rich as he is good, and the hussy tells me to my face she won't have anything to do with him. What do you say to that?
What do I say to it?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, come on, spit it out already.
I say that I am, upon the whole, of your opinion, and that you cannot be but right. Yet, perhaps she is not altogether wrong?
Nonsense. He's an excellent match. He's a nobleman, even a gentleman too. Simple habits, extremely well off, and he has no children left from his first marriage. Where's she going to find anything better?
It is true, but she might suggest that you are going rather fast, and that she ought to have at least a little time to consider whether her inclination could reconcile itself.
No. I have to move fast on this before he changes his mind. He's agreed to take her without a dowry.
Without a dowry?
Yes.
I have nothing more to say. A more convincing reason could not be found, and she must yield to that.
Molière.
It'll save me a fortune.
Undoubtedly. No one can argue that. Now, it is true that your daughter might try to tell you that marriage is a more serious affair than people are apt to believe, that the happiness or misery of a whole life depends on it, and that an engagement which is to last till death ought to be entered into without great consideration.
Without a dowry?
That must, of course, decide everything. However, there are certainly people who might want to convince you that on such occasions, the wishes of a daughter are no doubt to be considered, and that this great disparity of age or disposition and of feelings might be the cause of many an unpleasant incident in married life.
Without a dowry?
It must be granted. There is no reply to that. Who in the world could think otherwise? I do not mean to say, but there are many fathers who would set a much higher value on the happiness of their daughter than on the money they may have to give her for their marriage, who would not like to sacrifice their children to their own interests, and who would, above all things, try to see in a marriage that sweet conformity of taste, which is a sure pledge of honor, tranquility, joy, and that...
Without a dowry?
That is true. Nothing more can be said. Without dowry, how can anyone resist such arguments?
But, what's that? In the garden. I saw something move. Dear God, someone's after my money. You stay here. I'll be right back.
Scene 8.
Molière, you surely can't be serious.
I'm trying not to upset him, to give us at least a chance to get you out of this, for both our sakes. To resist him boldly would simply spoil everything. Some people need to be handled with kid gloves, to approach subjects indirectly. We pretend to comply with his wishes, then we're much more likely to succeed in the end.
But this marriage, Molière.
We'll find some pretext for breaking it off.
Before tonight?
You must have it delayed. Feign some illness or other.
But he will soon discover the truth if they call in the doctor.
You think these doctors know anything? No matter what you claim is wrong with you, the doctor will come up with some convoluted explanation. Besides, do you think your father would ever pay for the expense of a doctor?
True. He won't even pay for an aspirin.
Scene 9.
False alarm, thank heavens. It was only a shadow passing over.
In short, flight is the last option we have left us to get out of all of this. And if your love, dear Elise, is as strong... Yes, a daughter is bound to obey her father. She has no right to inquire what a husband offered to her is like. And when the most important question, without dowry, presents itself, she should accept anybody that is given to her.
Beautifully said.
Oh, I beg your pardon, sir, if I carry it a little too far and take upon myself to speak to her as I do.
Oh, excellent. Hey, wait, no. Why don't you take charge of her? Then we'll see if you dare run away, Elise. So, Molière, I give you the authority over Elise that heaven gave me. So, my dear girl, you'd better do everything he tells you.
Everything?
Everything.
Everything?
Oh, everything.
Scene 10.
I will follow her, sir, if you will permit, and I will continue my ministrations.
Ah, good. Yeah. What? Oh, yes, good idea.
She ought to be kept in line with a firm hand.
Absolutely.
Don't worry, sir. I believe I shall succeed in convincing her.
Excellent. Yes, of course. I'll go for a short walk in the town. I'll be back later.
Yes, money is more precious than anything else in the world, and you should thank heaven that you have so worthy a man for a father. He knows what life is. When a man offers to marry a girl without dowry, we ought to look no farther. Everything is defined by that, and without dowry, it compensates for want of beauty, youth, birth, honor, wisdom, and probity.
Oh, what a man. Is he a man? You'll take her in hand and teach her a thing or two. Happy is the man with such a servant.
Act 2, Scene 1.
How now, you rascal, where have you been hiding?
Well, sir, I came here resolved to wait for you, like you said. But your father, that most hospitable of men, generously offered to help me into the street with his foot.
How is our business progressing? Things are worse than ever for us. Since I left you, I have discovered that my own father is my rival.
Your father is in love?
It seemed so, and I found it very difficult to hide my own feelings from him when he told me.
That man meddling with love? What on earth is he thinking of? Is he trying to set everybody at each other's throats? And anyways, love meant for people that look like him.
I tell you, he's got this passion in his head to punish me for my sins.
But why do you hide your love from him?
So that he doesn't suspect anything, and to make it easier for me to set up some device to prevent this marriage if it becomes necessary. What answer did you receive?
Well, sir, those who borrow are, alas, at a real disadvantage. So you're going to have to put up with all sorts of inconveniences when you're forced to put yourself into the hands of the moneylenders.
Then the affair won't come off?
Well, sir, Mr. Simon, the broker who's recommended to us, is a very active and zealous fellow and says he's left no stone unturned to help you. He assures me that your looks alone have won his heart.
Will that get me the 15,000 francs I need?
Yes, but under certain trifling conditions, which I'm afraid you'll have to accept if you wish the bargain to be concluded.
Did you speak to the man who is to lend the money?
Oh, dear me, no. Business is not done in that way. He's even more anxious than you to remain unknown. These things are more secretive than you would ever imagine. His name is not to be divulged for any reason. He's to be introduced to you today at the house provided by him, so that he may hear from you in person all about your position and your family. But I have not the least doubt that the mere name of your father will be sufficient to accomplish what you wish.
Yes, particularly as my mother is dead and no one can deprive me of what I inherit from her.
Well, here are some of the conditions which the lender himself dictated to our go-between for you to be aware of and review before anything is begun. Supposing that the lender is satisfied with all his securities and that the borrower is of age and of a family whose property is ample, secure, and free from all encumbrances, there shall be drawn up a good and correct bond before as honest a notary as it is possible to find, and who for this purpose shall be chosen by the lender, because he is the more concerned of the two that the bond should be rightfully executed.
All right, that sounds reasonable.
The lender, not to burden his conscience with the least scruple, does not wish to lend his money at more than 5.5%.
5.5%, by Jove, that's honest. We have nothing to complain of.
That's true, but as the said lender has not in hand the sum required, and as in order to oblige the borrower, he is himself obliged to borrow from another at the rate of 20%, it is but right that the said first borrower shall pay this interest without detriment to the rest, since it is only to oblige him that the said lender is himself forced to borrow.
You're joking. That is more than 25%.
True, and that's what I told them. But that's how it stands, and it's up for you to consider the matter before you act.
How can I consider? I need the money, and I must therefore accept everything.
That's what I told him.
Is there anything else?
Only a small item. Of the 15,000 francs which are demanded, the lender will only be able to count down 1,200 in hard cash. Instead of the remaining 3,000, the borrower will have to take the clothing, curios, and jewels contained in the following catalogue, and which the said lender has put in all good faith at the lowest possible figure.
What on earth does that mean?
I'll go through the catalogue. Firstly, a 4-poster bedstead with hangings of Hungary lace, very elegantly trimmed with olive-coloured cloth, and 6 chairs and a counterpane to match, the whole in very good condition and lined with soft red and blue shot silk.
What does he expect me to do with all of this?
Wait, it gets worse. Item: tapestry hangings representing the loves of Gombard and Macca.
Who? What?
It's an old comic pastoral where the two... never mind. Item: a large walnut table with 12 columns or turned legs, which draws out at both ends and is provided with 6 stools.
I don't believe this.
Patience, there's more. Item: 3 large matchlocks inlaid with mother of pearl with rests to correspond. Item: a brick furnace with 2 retorts and 3 receivers, very useful to those who have any taste for distilling.
I think I'm going crazy.
Gently. Item: a lute with all its strings, or nearly all. Item: a gaming table complete with draught board and a game of Mother Goose, translated from the Greeks, most useful to pass the time when one has nothing to do. Item: a lizard skin, 3.5 feet in length, stuffed with hay, a very pleasing curiosity to hang on the ceiling of a room. The whole of the above-mentioned articles are really worth more than 4,500 francs, and is reduced to the value of 1,000 crowns through the considerateness of the lender.
Considerateness? The wretch, the cutthroat. It's usury, that's what it is. Not satisfied with the outrageous interest he asks. Instead of the 3,000 francs, he wants to dump on me all the old rubbish he's managed to pick up. I shan't get 200 crowns for all that, and yet I have to accept everything. The villain has me over a barrel.
It seems to me, sir, if you'll forgive my saying so, that you've dug a hole for yourself and are about to jump in. I think you need a better plan than taking money in advance, buying dear, selling cheap, and cutting your corn while it's still grass.
What would you have me do? This is what we're reduced to by the sheer greed of their fathers, and then everyone is surprised that sons want rid of them.
No one can deny that your father would turn even the gentlest of men against him and his meanness. I have not, thank God, any inclination to send him to the gallows. I've got enough questionable friends who stick their fingers in various nefarious affairs, which I've learned the hard way how to keep my nose clean. And how to avoid of all of those things which have even the slightest chance of landing me in jail. But I must confess, the way he carries on, I get the strongest desire to rob him, which would only be an act of charity.
Give me that memorandum. Oh, let me check the fine print again.
Scene 2.
Yes, sir. It is a young man who is in great need of money. His affairs force him to find some at any cost, and he will agree to all your conditions.
But are you sure, Monsieur Simon, that there is no risk involved? You've checked his credit?
No, I cannot tell you anything for certain, as it was by mere chance that I met him, but he will tell you everything himself, and his servant has assured me that you will be quite satisfied when you know him. All I can tell you is that his family is said to be very wealthy, and he has already lost his mother, and that he will pledge you his word, if you insist upon it, that his father will be dead within 7 or 8 months.
Wonderful! Of course, charity, Mr. Simon, demands that we give succor to those less fortunate than ourselves.
Of course.
What does this mean? Master Simon talking with your father?
Has he been told who I am? I hope you won't betray me.
You are in good time, but who told you to come here?
Ken's frozen.
This is the gentleman who wants to borrow the 15,000 francs that I told you about.
What? Scoundrel!
What? Father?
It's you who are about to drown yourself in debt?
It's you who will stoop to such shameful deeds?
Oh, I'll stoop.
Get out of my house!
Scene 3.
You dare to show yourself before me?
You dare to show yourself to the world?
Are you not ashamed to sink so low, to enslave yourself to a moneylender and disgracefully squander the fortune your mother and I slaved for?
Are you not ashamed of dishonoring your position by such dealings, of sacrificing honor and reputation to the insatiable desire of heaping crown upon crown, and of outdoing the most infamous devices that have ever been invented by the most notorious usurers? Stuffed lizard, father!
Get out of my sight, you reprobate! Out of my sight!
Who's the bigger criminal? The one who buys the money that he desperately needs, or the one who obtains by unfair means money for which he has no use?
Out! You're giving me palpitations. One good thing to come out of it. I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on that young fop.
Scene 4. Sir.
Oh, don't go anywhere. I'll be back. I must check on my gold. I'm coming, my lovelies.
Scene 5.
This is like a bad sitcom. You must have a large store of goods and junk somewhere. But that list didn't contain one single item which either of us recognized.
Hello, is that you, my poor Lafleche? What brings you here?
Foreseen. I might ask you the same thing.
What brings me here? Why? The same then that takes me everywhere I go, to busy myself about other people's affairs and make myself useful to the community and profit as much as I possibly can by what little talent I possess. After all, we have to live by our wits in this world. What other resource have people like me but intrigue and cunning?
Do you have business with the master of this house?
Yes, I am handling a small matter for him, which pretty sure will earn me a reward.
He'll give you a reward. Let me tell you, you'll 6 feet under a long time before Harpagon gives you a reward.
You may be right, but there are certain services which wonderfully touch a man's feelings.
I beg your pardon, but you don't know Harpagon. He is the least humane human being I know, the hardest and the closest. There's nothing you can do for him great enough to induce him to open his purse. If you want praise, esteem, kindness, and friendship, you're welcome to any amount. But money, oh, that's a different affair. There's nothing drier, more barren than his favor and his good money. That's a different. And his good grace. And give is a word he never uses. He dislikes it so much. And so he never says, I give, but rather, I lend you a good morning.
That's all very well, but I know the art of fleecing men. I have a secret way of touching their affections by flattering them and of finding out their weak points.
All useless here, I assure you. When it comes to money, I defy you to soften this man. You could be starving and it wouldn't move him. He loves money better than reputation, honor, or virtue. And anyone making demands upon his purse sends him into convulsions. It's like a kick in the what's-it. It's a knife to his heart. It's like tearing his very bowels off. And yet, but here he comes again. I'm leaving.
Scene 6.
Everything's fine. And the guard dogs prowl. Yep. Oh, well, what is it, Francine?
Bless me, don't you look well? The very picture of health.
What? Who? Me?
Never have I seen you looking more rosy, more hearty.
Really?
Why? You have never been so young looking. I know many a man of 25 who looks much older than you.
Yet, Francine, I've passed 60. Yeah, but only by a little.
60? Well, what then? You don't mean to let that worry you, do you? Why, 60 is the very pinnacle of manhood, the threshold of prime of life.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but 20 years less wouldn't hurt.
Nonsense. You don't need that. And you're good to at least 100.
Oh, do you really think so?
Absolutely. You show all the signs of it. Hold yourself up a little. Ah, perfect. And that line there, straight between your two eyes, a sure indicator of long life.
Oh, you know about these things?
Of course, I know about these things. Show me your hand.
Oh.
Dear me, that's quite a lifeline.
Where?
There. Don't you see how far that line goes?
Ooh, well, what does that mean?
What does it mean? My goodness, I said 100 years, but no, I should have said something more like 120.
Really?
I tell you, they
will
kill you. And they'll have to bury your children and your children's children.
Oh, so much the better. Now, what news have you of our little project?
Do you need to have to ask? Did anyone ever see me not succeed in anything I started? You know my talent for matchmaking. There are no two people in the world that I could not couple together. But the task you set me was not so difficult. I know both ladies very well and told them all about you. I made sure the mother knew your intentions toward Marianne, how you saw her pass in the street and enjoyed the perfume wafting out of her window.
What did she say?
She was delighted to receive your proposal. And when I told her that you very much hoped that her daughter would come tonight to the signing of the marriage contract for your own daughter, she agreed at once and entrusted Marianne to me for the visit.
Well, since I have to give Signor Anselm something to eat, I might as well get 2 for the price of 1.
You are quite right. She is coming to meet your daughter after dinner, then to the fair, and then she will return to your house just in time for supper.
Fine. I suppose I could lend her my carriage.
That would suit her perfectly.
But Francine, have you spoken to the mother about the matter of a dowry? Did you make it clear to her that if she wants me as a son-in-law, she'd better be prepared to make a sacrifice, a big one? After all, what fool would marry a girl without a dowry?
A dowry. She is a girl who will bring you a clear 12,000 francs a year.
12,000 francs a year?
Yes. In the first place, she has been brought up with the strictest notions of frugality. She is a girl accustomed to live upon salad, milk, cheese, and apples, and who will consequently not require a well-served up table. No rich broths, expensive meats, or fancy desserts. None of those costly delicacies other women would want. This is no small matter and may well amount to 3,000 francs a year. Besides this, she only cares for simplicity and neatness. Shall we have none of those splendid dresses and rich jewels, none of that sumptuous furniture in which girls like her indulge so extravagantly? And all this is worth more than 4,000 francs per annum. Lastly, she has the deepest aversion to gambling, which is not very common nowadays among women. Why, I know of one in our neighborhood who lost at least 20,000 francs this year. But let us reckon only a quarter of that sum. 5,000 francs a year at play and 4,000 in clothes and jewels make 9,000, and 3,000 francs, which we count for food, and that makes your 12,000 francs.
Oh, yes, very good. Do you think you can fool me with creative accounting?
Excuse me, is the creative accounting real to bring you a bride of great sobriety with a great love for simplicity in dress and hatred for gambling?
It's a joke, conjuring up a dowry of what I won't have to spend. I don't give receipts unless I receive, so I'd better receive.
Bless me, you will get enough. And they have told me of a certain country where they have some property, of which you will be the master.
Yeah, well, I'll believe that when I've got it buried in my garden. But Francine, there is one more thing that makes me uncomfortable. The girl is young, and young people generally like the company of other young people and develop feelings for them. I'm afraid that a man of my age might not, well, and that might result in domestic complications. And I wouldn't like that.
Oh, you misjudge her. This is one more thing I needed to tell you. She has the greatest detestation of all young men and only likes older people.
Does she?
You should hear her talk on that subject. She cannot bear the sight of young men, and nothing delights her more than to see a fine older gentleman. The older they are, the more charming she finds them. So I warn you beforehand not to try and make yourself any younger than you really are. She wishes for a gentleman 60 years old at least. And it was only 6 months ago that on the very eve of being married, she suddenly broke off the match of learning that her lover was only 56 years of age when he did not put his spectacles on to sign the contract.
You don't say.
Yes, she says there is no pleasure with a man of 56, and she has decided affection for those who wear spectacles.
Oh, well, that's a new one.
You can't imagine how important this is to her. In her room, she has pictures and engravings. And who do you think they are of? Of Adonis, a Cephalus, a Paris, an Apollo? Not a bit of it. Fine portraits of Saturn, King Priam, of old Nestor and old Father Time with spectacles.
Oh, wonderful. Who'd have thought it? She prefers men of maturity and distinction, just like me. Oh, I do so understand. If I'd been a woman, I should never have loved callow young men.
I should think not. Strutting peacocks, these young men. Who'd want one of those to fall in love with? Fine rascals and puppies for a woman to hank after. I should like to know why anyone could find them attractive.
Oh, it's a mystery. I don't understand why women dote on them so.
They must be complete idiots. How can any sane person find youth likable? Can those curly-pated coxcombs be men? And can one really get attached to such creatures?
No, I couldn't agree more. With their effeminate voices, their straggly beards, fancy wigs, bulging breeches, always flexing their muscles.
Yes, they mere children compared with yourself. In you, we see a real man. There is more than enough to satisfy the eye. You are how men should be built and dressed to inspire love.
So you think I'm attractive?
Attractive? You are charming, and your face alone would make a beautiful picture. Turn around a little, if you please. You could not find anything better anywhere. Let me see you walk. You have a pear-shaped body, free and easy, as it should be, with no sign of infirmity.
Well, I must say I've taken care of myself. Well, except my cough gives me a little trouble now and then.
That is nothing. And coughing becomes you exceedingly well.
Tell me, Frosine, has Marianne seen me yet? Has she perhaps taken note of me as I strolled past?
No. Oh, but we have had many conversations about you. I gave her an exact description of your person and made her to make the most of your merits and to show her what an advantage it would be to have a husband near to death.
What?
With your depth.
Oh, well done, Frosine. Many thanks to you.
I have, sir, a small request to make to you. I am in danger of losing a lawsuit for want of a little money, and you could easily help me with it if you took pity upon me. You cannot imagine how happy she will be to see you. Oh, how delighted she will be with you, and your sartorial elegance will complete the whole effect on her. But above all, she will be delighted with your breeches, fastened to your doublet with tags, that will drive her mad for you. After all, a lover who wears tags will be her wish come true.
What a wonderful thought.
I tell you, sir, this lawsuit is of the utmost importance to me. If I lose it, I'm forever ruined, but a very small sum will save me. I should like you to see the happiness she felt when I spoke to her of you. Joy sparkled in her eyes when I told her of your good qualities, and I succeeded in making her look forward with the greatest impatience to this conclusion of the match.
Well, thank you, Frosina. I am forever in your debt.
I beg of you, sir, to grant me this little assistance I ask of you. It would put me on my feet again, and I shall feel grateful to you forever.
Goodbye. I have some letters to write.
But, sir, you could not help me out with this truly pressing necessity.
My carriage will be ready to take you to the fair.
I would not beg you so if I were not so compelled by necessity.
And I'll see you at supper.
Do not refuse me, sir. I beg of you. You could hardly believe, sir, the pleasure that...
Oh, I must go. Yeah, someone is calling me. Supper is at 6.
May you die of the pox, you stingy bastard, and send you to the devil and his angels. The misers held out against all my appeals. But I must not drop the negotiation, for I have the other side, and there, at all events, I am sure of a good reward. Act.
All right. All right, gather round. I have your orders for this evening. Dame Claude, let's begin with you. Oh, yes, you've got your broom. Good. You're already armed, I see. You need to get all the cleaning done. The house must gleam from top to bottom. Yeah, and don't rub the furniture too hard. I don't want it wearing out. Oh, and during supper, I'm putting you in charge of the bottles. So if any of them is missing, or if anything gets broken, you will be responsible for it, and it'll come out your wages.
A shrewd punishment, that.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get on with it.
Scene 2.
Brindavoin and La Malouche, you are to wash the glasses and pour the wine. Yeah, but only when people are thirsty. I won't have you encouraging them to drink up when they hadn't thought of it themselves. Wait until you've been asked several times. And keep plenty of water handy.
Yes, wine without water gets into one's head.
Shall we take off our smocks, sir?
Yeah, but wait till the guests arrive and don't spoil your clothes.
You know, sir, one of the fronts of my doublet is covered with a large stain of oil from the lamp.
And I, sir, you can see my breeches are all torn behind, so that If once I bowed to a guest,
Well, keep your back to the wall, for goodness sake. Look, use your brain. Turn carefully towards the wall and always face the company. And you, cover the stain with your hat. When you're serving, always hold your hat like this when you wait on the guests.
Scene 3.
Oh, and as for you, daughter, you keep your eye on what's cleared off the table and see that nothing's wasted. Oh, God, that shouldn't tax you too much. In the meantime, get ready to welcome my lady love. She's coming by this afternoon to go to the fair with you. Do you understand?
Yes, Father.
Scene 4.
Oh, and you popinjay. I'm prepared to forgive you this morning's little outrage, but be sure you behave in front of Marianne. No pouting or scowling at her.
Receive her coldly, and why should I?
Why? Why? Well, we all know how children behave when their fathers remarry, the looks they give their stepmothers. But if you wish me to forget your last offence, you'd better receive her with civility and give her the kindest welcome you can.
Honestly, Father, I cannot promise you that I am very happy to see her become my stepmother. But as to giving her a kind welcome, I promise to obey you in that to the very letter.
Be careful you do.
I assure you that you will have no cause to complain.
Be careful you do.
I will.
Just be careful you do.
I will. I need to go lie down.
Just be careful.
Scene 5.
Look, Valère, now I'll need your help. Oh, Master Jacques, I've kept you for last.
Is it your coachman, sir, or your cook to whom you want to speak? For I am both the one and the other.
Both.
But to which of the two first?
Oh, cook.
Then wait a minute, if you please. I need to change hats.
But what are you doing?
Now I'm at your service.
Now, Master Jacques, I am to give supper tonight.
A miracle. I wonder how hell is enjoying the cold spell.
So you can give us a halfway decent spread?
Yes, if you give me plenty of money.
Oh, damn it. Money. Always money. Can't you say anything else except money, money, money? Always that same word in your mouth. Money. It's like a broken record. I swear they mutter it in their sleep.
Never did I hear such an impertinent answer. Would you call it wonderful to provide good cheer with plenty of money? Why, that's the easiest thing in the world. Any idiot could do that, but a truly clever man can provide a good supper with little money.
A good supper with little money?
Yes.
Well, indeed, Mr. Steward. You will oblige me greatly by telling me your secret. And also, if you like, by taking my place as cook. But you keep meddling here and want to be everything.
Quiet, you! Now, what will you need?
Ask your Mr. Steward. He'll give you good cheer with little money.
I am speaking to you. Well, let's hear it.
How many will there be at your table?
10. But reckon for 8. When you prepare for 8, there's always enough for 10.
That is obvious.
Very well. Then, first you must have 4 tureens of soup and 5 side dishes. Soups, entrees.
Well, what are you planning to feed the whole town?
Roast!
They'll be eating me out of house and home.
Desserts!
Enough!
Do you mean to kill everybody? And has your master invited people in order to destroy them with overfeeding? Go and read a little on the precepts of healthy living and ask the doctors if there's anything so hurtful to man as excess in eating.
Quite right.
Master Jacques, a table overloaded with eatables is a real killer. And that, to be a true friend to those we invite, frugality should reign throughout any repast we give. That is wisdom handed down from one of the ancients. We must eat to live, not live to eat.
Oh, I'm speechless with wonder. Come, let me embrace you. Oh, that's the finest saying I ever heard. We must eat to live and not, we must live to eat and not eat to live. No, that's not right. How'd you say it?
that we must eat to live, not live to eat.
Ah, yes, now do you hear that? And which great man said that?
I do not exactly recollect his name just now.
Well, write it down for me. I'll have it engraved in letters of gold over the mantelpiece in the dining room.
I will not fail. As for your supper, you had better let me manage it. I will see that it is all as it should be.
Do so.
So much the better. All the less work for me.
Give them the things they don't like, but that'll fill them up. Pork rinds, beans, oatmeal. Oh, how about a pig's trotters?
Leave it to me.
Now, Master Jacques, I need you to clean my carriage.
Wait a minute. This is to the coachman. You say?
I need you to clean my carriage and have my horses ready to drive to the fair.
Your horses? Upon my word, sir, they're not able to stir. I won't tell you that they're laid up, for the poor things have got nothing to lie upon. So that would, in truth, be a lie. But you starve them so, that you starve them so much that they're nothing but phantoms, skeletons, mere shadows of horses.
Oh, my heart bleeds for them. They've nothing to do, for God's sake.
And because they have nothing to do, they should have nothing to eat. It would be much better for them to work a lot and get fed to match. It breaks my heart to see them so reduced, for I love my horses, and when I see them suffer, I suffer along with them. Every day I take the bread out of my own mouth to feed them, and it is cruel, sir, to have no compassion for one's neighbor.
Well, going to the fair won't strain them.
No, sir, I haven't the heart to drive them. My conscience wouldn't let me use the whip on them in the state they're in. How do you expect them to drive a carriage? They don't even have enough strength to drag themselves along.
Sir, I will ask our neighbor Picard to drive them, particularly as we shall want his help to get the supper ready.
Make it so.
At least they won't die under my hand.
Master Jacques is mighty considerate.
Mr. Stewart is mighty indispensable.
Enough!
Sir, I can't bear these flatteries. Whatever this man does, his continual watching, the bread, the wine, wood, salt, candles, is only done to curry favor with you. Oh, it makes me mad to hear it. And I'm sorry to hear what people say about you. I, for one, have a great admiration for you. And except for my horses, you're the person I like most in the world.
What do you mean, what people say about me? What do they say about me? Come on, tell me.
Well, I would, sir, but you'd only get angry with me.
Nonsense.
Trust me, you will.
I will not. Quite the reverse. Nothing would please me more than to hear what people say of me.
Since you insist, sir, I will tell you frankly that you are the laughingstock of everybody. That they taunt us everywhere with 1,000 jokes on your account. Nothing delights people more than to make fun of you and to tell endless stories about your stinginess. One says that you have special calendars printed where you double the number of fasting days and vigils so that you can save money on food by insisting all the household follow them. Also, that you always have a made-up quarrel with your servants at Christmas time or birthdays so that you can avoid giving them anything. One of the neighbors tells a story how just recently you prosecuted their cat because it had eaten up the remainder of a leg of mutton. Another tells how one night you were caught stealing your horse's oats, and that your coachman, the fellow in the other jacket, caught you and gave you a good sound drubbing, and you said nothing about it. Everywhere we go, we hear these scandalous stories about you. You are everyone's favorite joke, and they all call you a miser, stingy, mean, a cheapskate, and a usurer.
You are a fool, a rascal, and a scoundrel.
There, I warned you. You wouldn't believe me. I told you I would make you angry if I told you.
Well, there was no need to enjoy telling me quite so much.
Oh,
Scene 6.
Well, Master Jacques, I see your frankness has been suitably rewarded.
Mr. Upstart, you who pretend to approve of him, mind your own business. Laugh at your own thrashing when you get it. Don't stand there laughing at mine.
Oh, calm down, Master Jacques, please do.
Let me tell you, I am not exactly in a laughing frame of mind. And if that you provoke me too much, I'll make you grin out of the other side of your face.
Easy now.
Easy, you say. And if I don't want to go easy,
just calm down, please.
You are an impudent rascal.
Master Jacques.
Don't you Master Jacques me. Oh, if I found a stick, I'd soon make you feel it.
Are you threatening me?
Oh, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that exactly.
Well, let me tell you, if you carry on like this, you'll be the one feeling a stick.
I believe you.
You're nothing but a scrub of a cook.
Oh,
You haven't had the faintest idea what I'm trying to do.
I beg your pardon?
You're going to beat me, you say?
I was only joking.
I don't like your jokes. As comedians go, you're pretty bad.
Well, didn't that go well? That's the last time I'll tell anyone the truth. It's one thing for my master to beat me, but when his steward, that Moliere, tries it on, that's too much. But I'll get my revenge. You wait and see if I don't.
Scene 7.
Ooh.
Is your master at home?
He is indeed, and I've got the bruises to prove it.
Please inform him that we are here.
Ooh.
Scene 8.
Oh, Frosine, I'm scared. I'm dreading this meeting.
Why? What can you possibly be afraid of?
How can you ask? Of course I'm afraid. I'm about to meet the instrument of my doom.
Oh, don't be so melodramatic, Marianne. Harpagon's not that bad. Your trouble is that you're still dreaming of that young man who's been sniffing around you.
I can't deny it, Frosine. All those wonderful visits he made to our house. I can't get him out of my head.
Do you know who he is?
No, all I know is that he is made to be loved. If I had my choice, I would much rather marry him. And of course, that makes me feel even worse about having to meet the old miser of a husband they want to force upon me.
Oh, for goodness sake. All those dandies are fine, and they all say the right things to win you over. But most of them are as poor as church mice. And it'll be better for you to marry a rich old man, even if he is a bit stingy. I get that offer isn't quite what you had in mind, and that there are a few little inconveniences to be endured with such a husband, but all that won't last. And when he kicks the bucket, and I assure you it'll be sooner than later, you'll be in a position to take the husband of your dreams with enough money to wipe out any bad memories.
Oh, but Frosine, it doesn't feel right that in order to be happy, we have to wish for the death of another. And while I trust you, it could still be quite a long sentence.
Don't worry. You'll marry him with the express understanding that it will soon leave you a widow. It's in the contract. If he isn't dead in 3 months, we can declare him impotent and seize the estate. Here he comes now. Be brave.
All right. Oh God, Frosine, what a face.
Scene 9.
Don't be offended, my dear, if I come to you wearing glasses. Your beauty is great enough to be seen with the naked eye, but to look at the stars, we use glasses. And you, my dear, are indeed a star, the most beautiful in all the heavens. Frosine, I told you she was beautiful, and she said nothing. Are you sure about all this? She doesn't seem to like the look of me much.
Oh, she's just a bit awestruck. Young girls are always shy at first and afraid of showing what they feel.
Silly me. Are you sure? I've had better conversations with rocks. And my little puppet, here is my daughter coming to welcome you.
Scene 10.
Forgive me, I am very late in coming to meet you.
Oh no, I should have come to meet you first.
Oh, you see what a big girl she is? Yeah, not too bright, but big.
Oh God, what an unpleasant man. I'm doomed.
What does she say, my love?
That she thinks you are quite perfect.
Oh, you do me too much honor, my precious one.
Oh, he just gets worse.
What? Oh, you're so sweet and kind to an old man.
I can bear it no longer.
Scene 11.
Oh, and here is my son come to pay respects to you.
Oh, no. Help, Rosine. It's the young man I told you of.
Well, that's a turn-up for the book.
I see you're surprised that I have such grown-up children. Oh, but don't worry. I'll soon be rid of them both.
Madam, to tell you the truth, I never expected anything like this to happen. I got the shock of my life when my father told me only today what he was planning.
Tell me about it. Unexpected is an understatement. I got the shock of my life when you walked in.
Madam, my father could not aspire to a better choice, and it is a great joy to me to have the honor of welcoming you to his house. But at the same time, the idea of you actually wanting to become my stepmother is shocking, and I must confess that I should find it difficult to pay you that compliment. It is a title, forgive me, that I cannot wish you to have. I know these words might seem cruel to some people, but I am sure that you understand my meaning. To be honest, madam, I find the idea of this marriage altogether repugnant to me. Now that you know who I am, you will understand why I oppose it, and know that if things depended on me, it would never take place.
What impertinence! That's a fine confession to make to her.
I must tell you that things are very much the same with me, and that if you find the idea of having me as your stepmother repugnant, be assured that the idea of you as my stepson is no less repugnant. Please do not believe, I beg of you, that any of this is my idea. The very thought of hurting you grieves me, and unless I am forced into this by a power that I must obey, I promise you that I will never consent to a marriage which is so painful to you.
That's right. A stupid speech deserves a stupid answer. Oh, I beg your pardon, my precious love, for my son's impertinence. He's shallow. He hasn't learned to think before he speaks.
I assure you that he has not offended me in the least. On the contrary, I'm grateful that he has spoken so frankly. His confession means a great deal to me, and indeed, if he had spoken differently, I should have thought much less of him.
It's me. It's very kind of you to make excuses for him, but don't worry, he'll get used to it and his feelings will change.
No, father, they will never change. Trust me, madam.
Oh, did you ever see such a clown? He's becoming worse and worse.
Would you have my heart lie?
Again? Oh, improve your manners, if you please.
Very well. Since you wish me to speak differently, allow me, madam, for a moment to stand in my father's shoes, and allow me to tell you that never in this world have I seen anybody more charming than you. I can conceive of no happiness greater than that of pleasing you, and that to be your husband is a glory I would take above all the riches of the greatest princes upon earth. Indeed, to be able to call you my own is, to my mind, to possess the greatest of all treasures. It is all my ambition. There is nothing I would not do for such a precious conquest, and the most powerful obstacles could never...
Easy!
I'm standing in your shoes, father, and expressing what you should be telling the lovely lady.
Damn it, I have a tongue in my head. I don't need you as a matchmaker. Here, bring us some chairs.
No, I think it is better for us to go at once to the fair in order to be back earlier and have plenty of time for talking.
Oh, of course, I forgot. Get the carriage ready at once.
Scene 7.
I hope you will excuse me, my dear, but I forgot to order some refreshments for you before you went out.
Fortunately, father, I did not forget. They're bringing some baskets of oranges from China, sweet citrons and preserves which I have ordered in your name.
Moliere!
He has lost his senses.
Do you fear, father, that it will not be enough? I hope, madam, that you'll have the kindness to excuse it.
It was not at all necessary.
Did you ever see, madam, a more brilliant diamond than the one my father has upon his finger?
Yeah.
It certainly sparkles very much.
Here, have a close look at it.
It is a beautiful one. See how it catches the light?
No, madam, it is your lovely hands that make it seem so beautiful. It is a present my father gives you.
Me?
It is not true, father, that you wish her... Is it not true, father, that you wish her to keep it for your sake?
What?
Strange question indeed. You indicates that you must accept it.
I could not.
I beg of you, he would not take it back.
Well, yes, I would. Oh, this is not funny.
It would be...
No, I tell you, you will offend him.
Pray.
By no means.
Oh, God in heaven, why did you saddle me with such a son?
See, he is hurt by your refusal.
Traitor!
You see, he is in despair.
Villain!
Really, father, it is not my fault. I am doing all I can to persuade her to accept it, but she is obstinate.
You think I would rough on you before? Just you wait.
See, madam, he scolds me. You must accept this gift.
Scoundrel!
You will make him ill. For goodness sake, hesitate no longer.
Do what he says. Keep the ring. Just keep repeating to yourself. 3 months.
I will keep it for now, sir, in order not to make you angry.
Scene 8.
There is a gentleman here who wants to speak to you.
Oh, tell him I'm busy. I can't see him today.
He says he has some money for you.
I'll be right back.
Scene 9.
Oh.
Sir?
Oh, he's killed me.
What's the matter, father? Have you hurt yourself?
Oh, my debtors have bribed him to break my neck.
Don't worry, it's not serious.
I beg your pardon, sir. I thought I'd better run fast to tell you.
What?
That your 2 horses have lost their shoes.
Well, quickly then, take them to the smith.
In the meantime, father, I will try to salvage the honor of the house and take this lady into the garden. They can bring lunch out there.
Scene 15.
Oh, Moliere, take care of it. And for God's sake, save as much as you can so we can send it back.
I will.
Oh, oranges, citrons. God, that damn boy will ruin me.
We will now take a 5-minute break. So we'll meet at 2:25.
2:25.
I must apologize to everybody that my proofreading of the script was not as good as it might have been.
It's okay. We're dealing with it.
Good.
Restroom real quick.
For those who don't know, this is based on a Plautus play. The
pot of gold.
Pot of gold, called various things, but pot of gold's the commonest one. Moliere, as Shakespeare did, took ideas from all over the place.
Of course, in the pot of gold, I think the daughter is pregnant already. By a lover who doesn't show up throughout the entire play.
And who wrote Pot of Gold? Where does that come
Plautus.
from?
Plautus, the Roman writer.
Ah, okay.
He wrote all the farcicals or the comedies in Rome. He was a rich source for both Shakespeare and Moliere and other writers.
I've noticed this is the same story as the opera Don Pasquale.
Oh, he probably got it from Plautus as well.
I'm sure. I thought that went back to Commedia dell'arte times, but as you say, it goes back even further.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Moliere stole a lot of the ideas of Commedia dell'arte and then twisted them to fit with the ideas of French theater at the time.
I only see the character of Pantaloon in this play. I don't recognize any of the other Commedia dell'arte characters in here.
No. I'm trying to put together a collection of Moliere pieces that feature the character Sganarelle, who is pure Commedia dell'arte.
And who's based on, I think he was based on Arlecchino.
Yeah. Because there were a number of, and Moliere used to play Sganarelle in all the various forms throughout all the time. It's interesting that there were a number of his pieces that he never published, and he didn't publish them because he was frightened of people stealing them.
Oh, by the way, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation once broadcast a, you might call it a hodgepodge of 5 different Commedia dell'arte scenarios on radio, and I happen to have it. Would you like a copy of it?
Oh, yes. Love that. Yes.
It has all the traditional Commedia dell'arte characters: Arlecchino, Pantalone, Il Capitano, Pederino, Donna Isabella.
Oh, good.
Who's your favorite?
Of course, mine. Let's see. There's the scenario of the dentist, in which Il Dottore, the pedant, and the other characters convince Pantalone that he needs to see a dentist to cure his stinking breath, and the dentist is in fact Arlecchino in a beard as a Sherman dentist, and they do all
the drill,
the drill, the hammer and the chisel, and the pliers. And then there's also let's see. The scenario of Donna Isabella, where Pantalone's son Orazio accidentally says something that makes her so angry that she gets Il Capitano to try and kill him. And Il Capitano, as you know, is the cowardly captain, or the boastful soldier.
Okay, I see it's 2:25. So let's go off on stage, and we are starting again. Act 4, Scene 1.
Come this way. Good. There is no one here. We need not. No one here. We need to worry about. We can speak openly.
Yes, Marianne. My brother has told me of his love for you. I know situations like this can be a trial, and you have my deepest sympathy.
It's such a comfort to know that you are on our side. I beg you to count me forever as a friend.
It was very remiss of you not to have told about this to me before. I might have been able to divert it, or at least prevent it from getting this far.
What could I do? God obviously hates me. But you, my beautiful Marianne, what are you going to do? Have you decided what you are going to do?
Me? Make up my mind? Unfortunately, it's not up to me. I am dependent on the will of others. I can do nothing but wish and dream.
Is that the best I can hope for? Wishes and dreams? No other relief, no affection?
What can I tell you? Put yourself in my place and tell me what I can possibly do. Please do. I trust myself entirely to you, for I am sure that you will never tell me to do anything immodest or unseemly.
Ouch, that's cruel. You condemn me to the constraints of strict and scrupulous propriety.
What am I supposed to do? Even if I did follow my dreams for you, I care too much for my mother. She has given up so much to care for me, I couldn't bear to give her any cause of sorrow. She wants this marriage to Harpagon. So do all you can with her. Strive to win her. Please say and do all you wish, and if anything hinges on her knowing my true feelings, by all means tell her what they are. Indeed, I will do it myself if necessary.
Frosine, dear Frosine, will you not help us?
Indeed, I would be happy to. As you know, I am not naturally unkind. Heaven has not given me a heart of stone. When I see people in love, I'm always willing to help. And I feel but too ready to help when I see young people in love. What do you suggest we do?
Tell us what to do.
Advise us.
That is something to undo what has been done.
Tricky. Marianne, your mother is not altogether unreasonable. and maybe we could succeed in making her give to the son the gift she reserved for the father. Cleante, but the most disheartening part of it is that your father is your father.
I know.
No, I mean that he could turn nasty if he sees that he is refused, and then he will be unlikely to ever give his consent to this marriage. Better if we could make him do the refusing. You ought to try and find some way to make him dislike you, Marianne.
That could work.
What are your worst habits? Are you messy, rude, cloying, annoying, cheap? No, that he'd like that. You are just too good, Marianne, of a catch.
It is true, she is.
Wait a minute. I got it. Suppose we had somewhat elderly woman with my talents who would be able to represent a lady of rank. We could quickly conjure some sort of retinue and give her a fancy title, a marchioness or a viscountess, who comes from Lower Brittany. I should have enough power over your father to persuade him that she is a rich woman and holds besides her houses 200,000 francs in ready money. That she is deeply in love with him and that she would marry him at any cost, even if she had to give him all her money to complete the marriage contract. He would most certainly then listen to the proposal. For although he loves you very much, my dear, he loves money so much more. Once he's signed the contract, it won't matter how or when the truth comes out.
That's a brilliant idea.
Leave it to me. I just remembered one of my friends who will do it beautifully.
And you can depend on my gratitude, Francine, if you succeed. But, dear Marianne, let us begin. You need to win over your mother. Use her love for you as leverage. Employ every sweet persuasion you can, those tender entreaties and loving caresses, and then how could you be refused?
I will handle my mother, don't worry about that. But, Cleante, you have to stand up to your father for once.
My darling, your hands are lovely.
Seem to.
What's this? Ah! My son is kissing the hand of his stepmother-to-be, and his stepmother-to-be does not exactly seem averse to it. Something's afoot.
Here comes my father.
The carriage is ready. You can leave at your convenience.
Since you're not going, Father, allow me to take care of them.
You stay right where you are. They can take care of themselves, and I want a word with you.
Scene 3.
Well, now, forgetting about the stepmother thing for a while, tell me what you think of her.
What I think of her?
Yes, what do you think of her appearance, her figure, her beauty, her intelligence?
Well, so-so.
Didn't quite catch that?
To tell you the truth, she is not quite what I expected. She comes across as a thorough coquette. Her manner is rather awkward. Her beauty is really only middling, and her intelligence virtually non-existent. Please don't think I say these things to put you off her, for I suppose if I have to have a stepmother, she'll do as well as any other.
You seem to be enjoying speaking to her just now.
I paid her several compliments in your name, but that was only to please you.
So then you don't really care for her?
Who? I? Not in the least.
Oh, what a pity. For that puts an end to a scheme which had occurred to me. Since I have seen her here, I have a feeling my age, and it seems to me that people would find fault with me for marrying so young a girl. You know, cradle snatcher. And when I thought about it for a bit, I decided I'd better forget about the whole idea. But since I'd asked for her hand in marriage and given her my promise, well, I thought I'd give her to you. Oh, but since you don't, since you dislike her so much.
To me?
Yeah, to you.
In marriage?
Oh, in marriage.
It is true that she is not really my type, but to please you, Father, I will bring myself to marry her, if that's what you want.
What I want? Oh, I am not nearly so unreasonable as you think. I wouldn't wish to compel you.
But if it would make you happy, I will make an attempt to love her.
No, 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 no. A marriage cannot be happy when there is no love.
But that, Father, may come with time. After all, it is said that love is often the fruit of a marriage.
No, 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 no. A man should never risk such things. You can end up with real problems, the wandering eye. If you had felt any inclination for her, you could have married her instead of me. But as it is, I'll just have to return to my first plan and marry her myself.
Wait, Father, I had better be frank with you and reveal our secret. The truth is that I have loved her ever since I saw her. I intended to ask you today to let me marry her, and it was only deterred from it because you spoke of marrying her first, and I feared to displease you.
Have you paid her any visits?
Yes, Father.
How many?
Well, considering how long we've been acquainted, quite a few.
So, you were well received?
Very well. But she had no idea who I was, and of course that was why Marianne was so surprised when she saw me today.
Have you told her of your love and your intention of marrying her?
Certainly, and I also spoke a little to the mother on the subject.
Oh, so, and did she accept your proposal for her daughter's hand?
Yes, very kindly.
And does the daughter return your love?
If I can believe appearances, she is well disposed towards me.
Well, this is an interesting development. Now look, here's what's going to happen. You will get rid of this passion for Marianne and stop drooling over my intended, and in a day or two you'll marry the bride I've picked for you.
So, Father, this was all a trick? Very well, since things have come to such a pass, I tell you that I shall not give up my love for Marianne. No, understand that henceforth I will do everything in my power to take her from you. And if her mother takes your side, I shall muster my other resources to aid me.
You dare to try to steal my promised bride?
It is you who tried to steal mine. I was there first.
I am your father. Show the proper respect.
If you want respect, you have to deserve respect. There are things in which children are not called upon to pay deference to their fathers. True love doesn't care about respect and duty.
My stick will show you the proper way.
All your threats are meaningless.
You will give up Marianne.
Never!
Bring me my stick. Quick, I say. My stick.
Scene 4.
Wait, gentlemen. Have you lost your minds?
I hate you.
Gently, sir, gently.
Listen to the little upstart.
Ah, sir, I beg of you.
This time he's gone too far.
What? He's your father.
Let me at him. I'll pull his wig off.
What? He's your only son.
You don't know what he's been up to. Listen here, then you can judge, and then you'll see I'm right.
As coachman or cook?
What? No, I was a judge, you fool.
Right you are. Sir? A little further off, sir, if you don't mind.
There is a young girl I love and want to marry, and that Popinjay has the impudence to love her as well. He says he's going to marry her in spite of me.
Oh, what impudence!
Isn't it a terrible thing when your only son has the audacity to make himself into a rival? Where's his respect? Where's his sense of duty?
You are quite right. Let me go and speak to him.
Very well. If he wants to judge between us, I have no objection, but at least try to pretend to be impartial.
But of course.
I am in love with a young girl who returns my affection and who welcomes the offer of my heart, but my father has taken it into his head to thwart our love by asking for her hand in marriage.
The impudence!
What is a man of his age doing thinking of marriage? It's completely wrong for him to fall in love. He should leave that to younger men.
You are quite right. He's making a mistake. Let me talk to him. Really? Your son is not as disrespectful as you think. He's really being quite reasonable. He says that he knows the respect due you, and that he only got angry in the heat of the moment. He will willingly submit to all you wish if you will only promise to treat him more kindly and allow him to marry a person of his own choosing.
Well, if he's that willing, tell him he can have whomever he wishes, except Marianne. He can choose any other wife he wishes.
Leave that to me. Really, your father is not as unreasonable as you think. And he tells me that it is your violent behavior which irritated him. He only objects to your disrespectful attitude. He is quite ready to grant you all that you want, provided you will calm down, give him the deference, respect, and submission that a son owes to his father.
Well, Master Jacques, you can assure him that if he gives me Marianne, he will always find me the most respectful of sons, and that I shall never do anything else against his wishes.
It's all right. He consents to what you want.
Perfect. That's much better.
It's all settled. He is satisfied with your promises.
Heaven be praised.
Gentlemen, congratulations. You are both of one mind. Peace is restored to your home.
My dear Jacques, I shall be obliged to you all my life.
Don't mention it, sir.
Oh, you've saved the day, Master Jacques, and deserve a reward. Go. I will remember it, I promise you.
Thank you kindly, sir.
Scene 5.
I beg your forgiveness for losing my temper so rashly, Father.
Well, you're forgiven.
I assure you that I feel very sorry about it.
I'm very happy to see you reasonable again.
That's very generous of you.
Well, it's easy to forgive the faults of children when they see the error of their ways and show their parents the respect they're due.
And you are not angry with me for losing my temper?
Well, now that you're showing the proper respect, I couldn't stay angry at my own son.
I assure you, Father, I shall always remember your generosity.
And I promise that in future I will not stand in the way of your wishes.
Oh, Father, I ask nothing more. It is sufficient for me that you give me Marianne.
What?
I tell you, Father, you've done so much already. When you give me Marianne, you give me everything.
Who's giving you Marianne?
You are, Father.
Me?
Yes.
No. You promised to give her up.
I give her up?
Yes.
I most certainly did not.
You didn't say you'd give her up?
On the contrary, I am more determined than ever to have her.
Scoundrel!
Nothing can make me change my mind.
Wait till I get my hands on you.
You can do as you please.
I forbid you ever to come in my sight.
As you like.
I abandon you.
Fine, abandon me.
I disown you.
Go ahead, disown me.
I disinherit you.
Feel free.
I'll give you my curse.
And you can keep your gifts.
Scene 6.
Ah, sir, you're just in the nick of time. Quick, follow me.
What is it?
Quick, follow me. We are saved.
How?
I found it.
What?
I've been looking for this all day.
What is it?
I found your father's cash box.
How did you manage that?
I'll tell you all later. Let's get out of here. I can hear him coming.
Scene 7.
Thieves! Murderers! Assassins! Justice! Oh, heavens, I'm undone. I'm murdered. They've cut my throat. They have stolen my money. Who's done it? Which way did he go? Where is he? Where's he hiding? I must find him. Is he here? Give me back my money, you wretch. I'm losing my mind. Oh, where am I? Who am I? What am I doing? Oh, my poor money, my solace. They have taken you from me. I've lost everything, my support, my consolation, and my joy. My life is over. The world has nothing left for me. Oh, I have nothing left to live for. Oh, it's over. I can bear it no longer. I am dying. I am dead. I am buried. Is there nobody who will resurrect me by restoring my dear money or telling me who's taken it? Whoever did this must have watched carefully for the opportunity. He's waited for the very moment when I was talking with that ungrateful son of mine. Oh, I must go. I must have justice. I'll torture the whole household to get the truth. My maids and my valets, my son, my daughter, and myself too, the whole lying bunch of them. Oh, look at them all. Everyone shifty. They all look suspicious. Hey, oh, what are you lot whispering about? Do you know who stole my money? What noise? What noise is that? Is it the thief? Oh, for pity's sake, if you know anything, I demand you tell me. Is he hiding there amongst you? Just turn in your friends. Come on. It's an old French tradition. They're all laughing at me. Quick, tell me who did it, or I'll call the magistrates, police, provost, justice, judges, everyone. I'll hang everybody. And I don't find my money, I'll hang myself afterwards.
Act 5, Scene 1.
Leave it to me. I know what I'm doing. This is not the first time I have had to track down thieves. I wish I'd had 1,000 francs for every thief I've hanged.
Well, let's hope you're as good as you think you are, because if my money is not found, it'll be time to judge the judges.
I can assure you I will do what is necessary. How much would you say there was in the strong box?
10,000 crowns in cash.
10,000 crowns.
10,000 crowns.
A considerable theft.
Oh, they need to feel the full force of the law for this crime, for if they are not caught and punished, will none of us be safe.
Is there anyone you suspect?
Everybody! You need to take the whole town, yes, and the suburbs into custody.
Now that could cause a panic. We need to be subtle and quietly gather evidence if we're going to have any chance of recovering your money.
Scene 2.
I'm coming back. Have his throat cut at once, have his feet singed, put him in boiling water, and hang him from the ceiling.
Who? The thief?
Who? What? I was talking about the suckling pig your steward has just sent me. I needed to be dressed and seasoned properly for your dinner.
This officer would like to talk to you.
Don't be frightened. Just a few questions and I'll be gentle.
That's what they all say. Is this gentleman staying for supper?
Now, my good man, tell me what you know about this concealed nothing.
Indeed. Sir, I will tell you everything, and be assured I'll look after you as best I can.
What? That's not the question.
And if dinner is not up to your usual standard, it's the fault of your steward, master, who keeps me short.
We aren't interested in your damn dinner. I want you to tell me where the money that was stolen from me is.
Some money has been stolen from you?
Yes, you rascal. And I'll have you hanged if you don't give it back to me.
Now, you mustn't threaten him. You can tell that he is an honest fellow just by looking at him. I am sure that he'll tell you all you want to know by the threat of prison. Yes, my friend, if you confess, no harm will come to you and you will be well rewarded by your master.
Rewarded? That's a novelty.
Some money has been stolen from this house. You must know something about it.
The very thing I wanted so that I can get my revenge on that steward. Ever since he came here, he has been the favorite, and his advice is the only words that count.
What are you muttering about?
Sir!
Let him think. He is getting ready to give you the answer you need. I told you that he was an honest fellow.
Sir, since you want me to tell you what I know, I believe it is your steward who has done this.
Moliere?
Yes.
Moliere, who seems so faithful?
Himself. I believe that it is he who has robbed you.
And what makes you believe it?
What makes me believe it?
Yes.
I believe it because I believe it.
But you must tell us what proof you have.
Did you see him hanging about the place where I had hidden the money?
Yes, indeed. Where was your money?
In the garden.
Exactly. I saw him loitering in the garden. Oh, what was your money in?
Oh, in a cash box.
The very same. I saw him with a cash box.
And this cash box, what did it look like? I'll soon know if it was mine.
What was it like?
Yes.
It was like a cash box.
Oh, yes, but describe it a little to see if it's the same. Oh, sorry.
It was a large cash box.
The one taken from me was a small one.
Yes, small if you look at it in that way, but I call it large because of what it contained.
What color was it?
What color?
Yes.
Of a color, of a particular color, light, dark. Can't you help me find the word?
Huh?
Blue or green, gray, red?
Gray.
Ha! Yes, reddish gray. That is what I meant.
That's it. That's my cash box for certain. Write it all down. God in heaven, who can we trust? Is nothing sacred.
There he is, sir. I beg of you not to tell him that it was I who let it all out, sir.
Scene 8-3.
Come here and confess, you scoundrel.
What do you want, sir?
What? You don't even blush for shame after such a crime?
A crime? What crime are you talking about?
What crime am I talking about? Villain, as if you didn't know what I mean. Don't try to hide it. You've been found out. All is discovered. I know all the details. How could you abuse my kindness, deliberately weasel your way into my confidence, and then betray me?
Sir, since you found out everything, I won't deny what I have done or make excuses for my actions.
Well, I never got it first guess.
I had intended to speak to you about it when the time was right, but since you found me out, I must beg you not to get angry and let me explain my motives.
What motives, you scoundrel? You conniving villain.
Sir, I do not deserve these names. I am guilty, yes, but you must admit my fault is pardonable.
Pardonable? A premeditated trick, an assassination like this, pardonable?
Don't be so angry, sir. When you have heard all I have to say, you will realize that you're making too much of it.
Making too much of it? Oh, my heart, I can't take much more of this.
Sir, it is unfortunate, but your name will not be sullied. My rank is high enough not to disgrace it. There is nothing about this that cannot be mended. Reparations can be made.
You better believe it. You will most certainly give me back what you stole.
Your honor, sir, shall be fully satisfied.
To hell with honor. In God's name, what made you commit such a crime?
Sir, how can you ask?
Very easily.
Sir, I did it in the name of the God that rules us all at some time. Love.
Love?
Yes.
Love of my gold, you mean?
No, sir, your wealth did not tempt. That's not what dazzled me. I swear to you, I will never want any of your possessions, provided you leave me what I have.
Leave it to you? Are you out of your mind? Oh, did you ever hear such villainy? He wants to keep what he's robbed me of.
You call it a robbery?
Yes, I call it a robbery. A treasure like that.
And too she is. A treasure. The most precious one you have. But you will not be losing it to leave it to me. I beg you on my knees not to take this treasure from me.
Oh, get up, for God's sake. What in the world are you talking to me about?
We have pledged our love to each other, and we will never forsake one another.
Well, the oath is admirable, but the promise is bizarre. We?
Yes, we are engaged to each other forever.
Oh, let me tell you, I know how to disengage you.
Only death could separate us.
He's bewitched by my money.
I have told you, sir, that it is not greed or self-interest which has driven me. My heart was inspired by a nobler motive.
Oh, you'll be telling me next that it is out of Christian charity that you covet my money. No, I'm going to put a stop to all this. Justice will soon give me satisfaction.
You must do what you have to. I will accept whatever punishment you feel is appropriate, but I beg you to believe that whatever harm you believe has been done, I alone am guilty. Your daughter has done nothing wrong in all of this.
Oh, I should think not. What on earth would my daughter have to share in this crime? Well, she can barely tie her own shoelaces, but I will have my treasure back again. Where have you taken her?
I have not carried her off. She's still at your house.
Oh, my beloved cash box. My treasure has not left the house.
No, sir.
You haven't taken any liberties with it?
Sir, you wrong us both. The flame with which I burn it is too pure, too full of respect.
But he burns for my cash box.
I had rather die than harbor improper thoughts. I found too much modesty, too much purity for that.
My cash box? Modest?
All I wished was to see her, to be in her presence, to gaze into those fair eyes which have inspired me.
The fair eyes of my cash box? But he speaks of it as a lover speaks of his mistress.
Dame Claude knows the truth, and she can bear witness to it.
My servant was an accomplice?
Yes, sir. She was a witness to our engagement, and once she reassured herself about the purity of my love, only then did help me to your daughter to become engaged to me.
Fear of being locked up has driven him out of his mind. Where is it? Well, what is this rubbish you're talking about my daughter?
I am telling you, sir, that her modesty nearly prevented her from acknowledging our love.
Of what modesty? Of whom?
Of your daughter. Indeed, it was only yesterday that she finally made up her mind to sign our mutual promise of marriage.
My daughter has promised herself to you?
Yes, sir, and likewise I to her.
Oh, God, another disaster.
Right, officer, right.
Tragedy, despair, woe is me. Sir, discharge your duty. Draw me up an indictment against him as a thief and seducer.
Yes, as a thief and a seducer.
Thief, seducer, never. You slander me, and when you know who I am.
Scene 4.
There she is, the traitor, the unworthy child. Oh, were all my lessons for naught? You give your love to an infamous thief, get engaged to him without my consent? Well, don't count on a long life together. 4 strong walls will teach you a lesson, and the gallows, you snake, will give you justice.
You can't judge me in anger. I shall at least have a hearing before I'm condemned.
Oh, the gallows isn't good enough. You shall be broken alive on the wheel.
Please, Father, be merciful. Don't use your place as my father to be vengeful. Don't let yourself be carried away by our anger. Please take time to consider. You need only discover who Molière really is. He is so much more than you imagine, and when this is revealed to you, you'll understand why I should have given myself to him. Especially when you know that without him, you would long ago have lost me forever. Yes, Father, it is he who saved me from the drowning in the raging waters. He is the one to whom you owe the life of that very daughter who loves you and...
Nonsense! It would have been better if he'd let you drown than what he has done.
Father, I beg you, in the name of whatever love you have for me, grant me this.
Nope. You're wasting your breath. Let justice have its course.
You shall pay me for the blows you gave me.
Well, this is a turn up for the book, isn't it? Scene 5.
What on earth has happened, Mr. Harpagon? You seem very upset.
Oh, Mr. Anselm, it's a disaster. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. You can't imagine the scandalous conniving, the chaos that surrounds the contract you've come to sign. I've had my cash book stolen. I've had my daughter stolen. There, that man, that scoundrel, that wretch has violated my generous hospitality. He weaseled himself into my house as a servant in order to steal my money and seduce my daughter.
Why do you keep ranting about your money?
They claim they are now promised in marriage. Now, this insult concerns you, Mr. Anselm. You should sue him. Just pay the officer here and you can prosecute him and be revenged.
I have no desire to force anyone to marry me or to lay claim to a heart which has already been bestowed elsewhere. But nonetheless, I am prepared to accept the ruling in these matters.
Now, There is a gentleman, an honest magistrate, thorough to a fault. Mr. Anselm, throw the book at him.
I don't see how they can possibly call it a crime to love your daughter, or indeed what punishment I should receive for our becoming engaged. When it is made known to you who I am...
Do you think I was born yesterday? The world is full of impostors and charlatans who deck themselves out in fancy clothes and call themselves the Duke of What's-it, the Count of Whatchamacallit, whatever fancy title comes into their head. You won't fool me with that one.
Sir, I am too honorable to adorn myself with a name which is not mine. All Naples can bear testimony to my birth.
Softly. Take care about what you are to say. You speak before a man to whom all Naples is known and who will instantly know if you are lying.
You don't frighten me. If all Naples is known to you, then you will have known the late Don Thomas d'Alberci.
Certainly I did. Indeed, few people knew him better than I.
I don't give a hoot for Don Thomas or Don anyone else.
Have patience and let him speak. Let's see where he's going with this.
Well, to make a long story short, I owe my birth to Don Thomas, my father.
Your father?
Yes.
Nonsense. You could have at least tried to concoct a more believable story. It's a tissue of lies.
Be careful who you accuse of lying. I can prove that everything I say is true.
What? You dare to call yourself the son of Don Thomas d'Alberci?
Yes, I dare. And I am ready to maintain the truth against anyone, whoever he may be.
Your audacity is astonishing. Let me tell you that Don Thomas died in a shipwreck with his wife and children 16 years ago. They'd been trying to save them from the persecution that accompanied the troubles in Naples that resulted in the banishment of several noble families.
Very true. But let me tell you that his 7-year-old son, together with a servant, was saved from the wreck by a Spanish vessel. And it is that same son who now speaks to you. The captain of the Spanish, touched with compassion at my tragic loss, he took me into his family and had me brought up as his own son. As soon as I was old enough, I joined the army, and that had been my profession since then. Then, just recently, I received word that my father had not died in the wreck, as I had thought, and I set out to track him down. My route brought me this way, and fortune showed me the beautiful Elise, and I fell in love with her. My love for her and the harshness of her father made me resolve to enter his household disguised as a servant, and to arrange for a friend to find my parents and look after them until such time as Elise and I could go to them.
You're going to need more proof than that fantastic story.
Proofs? The captain of the Spanish vessel, a ruby seal which belonged to my father, and a gate bracelet which my mother put on my arm, old Pedro, the servant who was saved with me from the wreck.
The miracle! I can testify to the truth of what you say because it proves to me that you are the brother I thought I had lost.
My sister?
Yes, I realized it as soon as you began speaking. Our mother often told me of the misfortunes of our family. Heaven spared us also in that dreadful wreck, but our lives were spared at the cost of our liberty, for my mother and I were saved by pirates from the wreck of our vessel. After 10 years of slavery, we managed to get away from them, and we returned to Naples, where we found all our property sold and no word of my father. We embarked for Genoa, but finding nothing left of our family estate, she came here, where we have lived a quiet but weary life.
A miracle indeed! Come to my arms, my children, and share the joy of your happy father.
You are our father?
It was for you that my mother wept?
Yes, my daughter, my son, I am Don Thomas of Alberci. Heaven saved me from the waves together with all the money I had with me. Finally, after 16 years of fruitless searching, I was forced to finally accept that you must have all perished in the wreck. I therefore resolved to seek the consolations of a new family by marrying a gentle and virtuous woman. Having been banished from Naples, I abandoned any idea of returning there. And so, after selling all my possessions, I settled here under the name of Anselm. I wish to forget the sorrows associated with my once illustrious name.
He is your son?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I make you responsible for the 10,000 crowns he's stolen from me.
He stole from you?
Yes.
Who told you that?
Well, Master Jacques.
Did you tell him?
Who? Me? I didn't tell him anything.
Oh, he certainly did. There's the officer who wrote it all down.
Can you really believe me capable of theft?
Capable of not, I want my money.
Scene 6.
Stop fussing about your money, father, and for goodness sake, don't go randomly accusing people. I can tell you what happened to your money, and I'm here to inform you that if you consent to my marrying Marianne, your money will be restored to you.
Where is it?
Never you mind, it is in a safe place and being well cared for. It's up to you now. Your decision. You have the choice either of losing Marianne or your cash box.
Nothing's been taken out.
Nothing at all. Agree to our marriage and join your consent to that of her mother, who herself leaves the choice up to Marianne.
But unfortunately, it is no longer simply my choice, since heaven has given me back a brother.
Valère?
And a father.
Anselm?
And you will have to ask for my hand from him.
Heaven, my dear children, has not restored you to me once that I might oppose your wishes. Mr. Harpagon, you must be aware that a young girl's choice is more likely to be the fall upon the son rather than the father. Come now, enough of the objections, and consent, as I do, to this double marriage.
Before I agree to anything, I must see my cash box.
You shall see it safe and sound.
I have no money to give my children in marriage.
Never mind, I have more than enough.
So you'll cover the expenses of the 2 weddings?
Yes, I will cover them. Now, are you satisfied?
I don't suppose you could run to ordering me a new suit of clothes for the wedding?
Agreed. Now enough. Let us go and enjoy the blessings this happy day brings us.
Stop, sir, stop. Softly, if you please. Who is to pay me for my writing?
No, we don't need you anymore.
Indeed, but I don't work for nothing.
Well, you can hang him for payment.
What? I just can't win. I get beaten for telling the truth, and now they want to hang me for lying.
Mr. Harpagon, you must forgive him for his little deception.
You'll pay the officer then?
Of course. Come, my children, let us share our joy with your mother.
Cleont! My cash box!
The end. So we will take bows. So we have Angus Hepburn.
Thank you.
As Harpagon. Yes. Amelia Bell as Marianne. Derek Tarson as Brigad Van in Anslam. Charles Kennedy IV as Cleont. Hannah Halsley as Elise. Paul Carazzone as Valère. Tony Scheinman as Master Jacques and La Flèche. Kenneth Wayne as Master Simon and the police officer. And myself as Frosine and La Mère. So thank you for joining us.
Great job, everybody.
Great, thank you.
Guys, that was a ton of fun.
It's fun.
I gotta run out though. I gotta
Yes, okay, Valère, you are off. Okay, we'll see.
Where are you recording, Paul?
I'm in a 15-passenger van right now.
I wondered.
Yeah. And I turned the air
Very
conditioner off at
quiet.
the end, so I just started dripping. I'm gonna play it into when I'm getting accused, you know?
Yeah. Look forward to reading with you again.
Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. It was a great
Thank
time,
you.
guys. Take
Bye,
care.
Paul.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Angus,
Yeah.
I sent you the Commedia dell'arte radio show.
Fabulous. Thanks very much. Thanks
And
very
let me
much.
know anyone else who wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and which play is it? Or
It's a collection of scenarios that are woven into one long story.
and it's well done.
All featuring the famous Commedia dell'arte characters, such
Okay,
as
Good.
Arlecchino, Il Pantalone, Il Dottore, Il Capitano.
all those guys. And you recommend it? It's well done?
Oh, yeah. The
Okay.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation did a wonderful job with it.
Oh, CBC used to do some really good stuff.
They still do
Yes.
occasionally.
Well, yeah. They were
Hannah,
good.
how do we pronounce your last name? I'm sorry if I butchered it.
Oh, don't worry. It's so weird. We don't even know where it comes from. It's Housdy.
How do you
Howsdy?
say it?
Housdy.
Howsdy?
Yes, it's like
Good.
howdy, but with a Z thrown in there. For,
Okay.
Howsdy?
That kind of jazzes it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
My wife's maiden name was Sir Helen, and very early on in her theatrical career, a director told her what you have to do if you're going to be a success is get rid of it.
Oh.
Did she?
Yeah, she married me, so it became Hepburn,
Okay.
so it was easier.
I think Z's and names are fantastic.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
like having a Z in your name.
oh yeah,
Listen,
cool.
power move.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Lovely to meet you, Charles and Hannah. And
Yeah.
wonderful to be with
Great
Paul
to
as
work
well.
with you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining the
What's
team.
the next one? It's Scapin, right?
No, the next
No,
one
the
is the Imaginary Invalid.
Next one is
Oh yeah, that's right.
Imaginary
The
Invalid,
Malady
and then the
Imaginaire,
one
that's
after
right.
that is Scalpan. Yeah,
Good.
anyway, so I'll be casting that
Thanks, Tony.
shortly. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Paul. How did it sound?
It sounded great. Really terrific reading, everybody. Thank you all so much. I enjoyed listening to it while I was walking my route. So
Yeah.
really good job. I'm in a place where I sort of may lose connection at any point, but well done and thank you. And yeah, look forward to August